I'm getting ready to transplant some seedlings into larger 3.5-inch or 4-inch pots. And that's because here in Kodiak, Alaska, it's still relatively cool. And all these seedlings I have in here, hundreds of them, well, they're kind of getting a little crowded, the roots are. So I need to pot them up and still hold them in the greenhouse until I can transplant them outside. But what I want to talk about today is the actual mix that I'm putting the seedlings in. It looks like plain old potting soil. Actually, I'm repurposing potting soil from last year and the year before. And I've added a number of items into the potting soil mix. And we'll go inside a little bit where it's warmer, and I'll share that with you. But one of the reasons why it's important, very important, to supplement your potting mix is because studies are showing that it's to the benefit of the seedling to grow as soon as possible in a mix, even from the starting of the seed all the way until they're planted outside, in a mix that has all kinds of nutrients, minerals, organic materials, and so on, to get them off to the best start possible. You know, I mean, raising children, for example, you wouldn't just feed them water right off the bat. They need nourishment. Besides, you wouldn't want to eat Cheerios every day either, would you? So it's to the benefit of the seedlings to give them as much as possible so they can grow up strong and healthy. And this is the thing, they don't suffer from transplant shock. So let's go inside where it's warmer, and we're going to talk about what I actually put into this potting soil. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to turn off this fan so you don't have to listen to it while we talk. But I have this fan running 24/7. And that's because it's my best defense against pests like aphids and damping off disease. Moving air circulation is extremely important, especially when you're raising young plants or seedlings. So for now, I'm going to turn it off, but it's just a FYI for you, is always have good air circulation. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and talk about some of these ingredients that I added to the repurposed potting soil. And I have 6 of them here, and I actually plan ahead for seed starting season, previous fall, and I'll explain as I go. So right here, first and foremost, is sifted compost. One of the garden writers for the New York Times said about compost, compost is the all-purpose answer to everything, and if you have enough of it, you won't need much of anything else. True statement. Right here I have some ash from our wood stove. Wood ash, good source of potassium, whereas compost, of course, has like a ton of everything. But wood ash provides a lot of potassium. I don't add much, just a little bit, because wood ash tends to sweeten soil, and I really don't want to get it much above a pH of 7, like neutral. Right here, this is something you might not see very often. This is kelp. This is seaweed from the ocean that I collect after a storm. And I say after a storm because Mom Nature is a great Cuisinart for pulverizing seaweed into small bits. And in addition to the seaweed, there's shredded leaves in here that gather on the beach, a little bit of sand, which is great, good texture. Kelp or seaweed, by the way, is fabulous to add to your garden, to your containers, your hanging baskets. If you don't have access to a beach, or a beach where you're allowed to collect it, because many places it's against the law, then find sources of dried or granular kelp or liquid kelp. it's, boy, I tell you, it's like #1 addition to your soil. Right here is something else I plan ahead for, and this is dried comfrey. Dried comfrey, it just works magic as it grows because it takes up nutrients from way deep in the soil and bring it up all the way into its stems and flowers and leaves. Besides, bees, pollinators love comfrey flowers. So I grow it and then I hang it in the greenhouse in the fall, and then I put it into a used Cuisinart. Right here I have deer poop. It might even be bunny poop, I don't know, but it's a very gentle, slow release, almost looks like a vitamin pills to add to the soil. So I love collecting deer poop and bunny poop. And right here, finally, this is volcanic ash. Now, not everybody has access to volcanic ash, I get it, but it's just basically silica and some minerals, some nutrients, but ash or sand added to your potting mix is also a great source of, well, let me put it this way. It doesn't add a whole lot per se, other than it helps with the tilth or the texture of your soil, because ideal soil is actually 50% air and water, and those are the highways where nutrients travel to the root zone so the plants can take up the nutritious goodies that are in the soil. And then 45% of ideal soil is basically ground up rocks or, ash or that kind of thing. And then 5 to 7% is organic material like compost. So you don't need much, but you have to keep replenishing it. So I just wanted to share that with you, the kind of things that you can add to your potting soil mixes. It might not be what I have here, but additional materials, organic materials, is exactly what seedlings and plants need so they can feed from the smorgasbord what exactly they need. I'll add some links to resources in the description below, and if you have any comments, be sure to add them. Oops, starting to get windy. So we can all benefit from it. Meanwhile, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!